Almost any of our daily activities, that can better one's life, can allow you to be an artist in some shape or form. Thinking about your past, present, and future allows you to do your activities to start your motivation, or momentum. A paradigm shift occurs if you do your activities correctly, subjective over time. Perhaps a better manifestation occurs if a common intersection of interests between what you like, and what people want to see. In the end, you, the reader, become the artist of your own manifestation. Practice your activities every single day. Just like losing muscles, for not working out the same can happen for not practicing the art of manifesting your goals. Even for experienced artists, if he, or she, doesn't practice every day, then there would be a loss of motivation, or momentum. To prevent that from happening, it is recommended to practice your art, every single day, whether it is a complicated masterpiece, a small project, etc. Consistency is the main objective. Observation: how to become a better artist. As an example, if someone wants to be a math tutor, one has to practice tutoring different people who are struggling with math. The tutor starts from tutoring remedial students to become more advanced. Over time, the math tutor will become better the more he, or she, tutors people. In general, a tutor, an artist, encompasses the knowledge, based on observations of the success and failures of different people. Studying from references is complementary since it is the best way to expand your library, your toolbox. Examples: A. Cluttered rooms can be organized if a person can visit an organized one, like that found from an IKEA store, or observe pictures from furniture magazines, etc. B. A beauty pageant contestant reviewing videos of beauty pageant winners, and C. An athlete watching video examples of competition winners. Blindly copying what you are looking at will help you improve a bit. The difference is substantial if you understand what you are looking at, perhaps focusing on categories, etc. Having the right mindset. Having a negative view, and watching someone else's better artwork will be discouraging. One should instead ask whether he, or she, can attain a higher level of artwork through more practice. Changing your self-fulfilling prophecy from negativity to positivity should be your mindset. It is based on your upbringing and past experiences. Remember that choosing the right, correct, mindset is also important because practice makes it permanent, by avoiding negative addictions that can hamper your progress in life. This is why incorporating altruism in your art is better, because it assists other people. For example, this booklet that you are reading may be considered art because it may be helping other people become artists. Enough practice, in whatever your artwork may be, should be the motivator to become a better artist. Organizing your physical space may help with organizing your thoughts. If one has enough organization in his or her thoughts, one will have the right mindset to manifest a better self-awareness. Develop self-awareness and keep your expectations in check. Confidence versus competence learning curve. There is a confidence versus competence learning curve associated with art of manifestation. Don't have high expectations in the beginning, since you most likely won't be rewarded immediately. Staying consistent in practicing art of manifestation may be necessary to see your career flourish. For example, you don't need an art degree to be working in industry. Many artists in industry don't have art degrees. People are more interested in this scenario because of the perception that he, or she, would have more artistic growth compared to a person who has an art degree. One has to have enough competence to allow him, or herself to grow. No matter what subject you are learning, or goal you are trying to achieve, there is always room for learning. Once a person consistently manifests their desires, he, or she, has mastered the art of manifestation. Create systems, not goals. Learn from better artists. Better artists learn from experience, they have the knowledge from success and failures. Ask people for assistance when needed, it saves time. Learn from talent, not fame. Take advantage of the internet, for example, social media, and learn from working professionals who also know how to teach, which is also an art. Show your art off. Show your art, almost anything can be art, and get feedback without being annoying. Find a common intersection of interests between what you like, and what people want to see, what they like. This is one of the main aspects of marketing. This may be one facet on how one can be an art influencer. Caveat: there are too many artists who create art that not many people may care about. This may be a niche market that artists may want to target better. Work on projects. Projects motivate you to create more art by organizing your physical space, prioritizing your thoughts, drawing what you want to manifest, etc. This means that your personality is dynamic. This forces a person to think about ahead of time how a project should be organized. These works can eventually be used to create and/or add to your portfolio. Almost anything can be a work of art. Competitions. Attempt to be in competitions because it allows people to grow. Escape perfectionism in competitions through authenticity. Perhaps a competition that you can for yourself is to teach other people your art of manifestation. Your life expands, or contracts in proportion to your courage. I am not here to impress, I am here to serve. Do not burn out, negativities. Perfectionism causes fear. False evidence appearing real. You are highly perfectionistic, fueled by a constant, critical inner voice of intense shame and fear. You demonstrate a heightened, or excessive sense of responsibility, and look for solutions. You have difficulty accepting and expressing painful emotions, remaining more analytical, or in your head. You discount, or dismiss any past, or present trauma, or abuse. You worry a great deal, but hide that habit, and avoid situations where you're not in control. You are highly focused on tasks and others' expectations, using accomplishment as a way to feel validated. Yet when accomplishment fades, new pressure assumes itself, and any success is discounted. Going alone and not asking for help, you have an active and sincere concern for the well-being of others while allowing few people, or any person, into your inner world. You hold a strong belief in counting your blessings, and feel that any other stance reflects a lack of gratitude. You have emotional difficulty with personal intimacy but demonstrate significant professional success. You might have other mental difficulties such as alcoholism, control issues, eating disorders, false sense of righteousness, generalized anxiety disorder, homosexual obsessive-compulsive disorder, obsessive-compulsive disorder, schizophrenia. Rumination involves repetitive, negative thought patterns that often worsen emotional distress. When people ruminate, they dwell on their problems without actively seeking solutions, which can lead to feelings of helplessness and prolonged suffering. Mindfulness is a type of meditation that involves focusing on the present moment without judgment or interpretation. Lower mindfulness is associated with higher rumination, and this combination appeared to coincide with more frequent maladaptive behaviors and personality traits. Reading about abnormal psychology may increase mindfulness. In these cases one may want to educate themselves more about psychology, for example, watching YouTube videos on psychology. Altruistic behaviors may help with these disorders, for example, educating other people with mental difficulties may alleviate the same symptoms. Factors, such as personal resilience, social support, or additional stressors, may also play a role in these psychological outcomes. Being grateful may assist with these problems. Depression and sadness arises through the lack of opportunities, and the feeling of the lack of control over your life. If you feel that no matter what you do, that some external force is vying for your demise, you will feel depressed. This is why it is important to be positive, and have an altruistic personality, not to be confused with narcissistic altruism, and to have happy thoughts. If you believe that how you act now is your choice, and is under your control, each moment becomes optimal. Life is not happening to you, it is responding to you. This is called lemon control. Harder choices in the beginning leads to an easier life, easier choices leads to a harder life. Ask yourself better questions to overcome fear. False evidence appearing real. Formulate questions to yourself that can help with your current situation to have a fair exchange between you and the God of the universe. How can you formulate better questions so that the answer to that question gives you a breakthrough? What is the intent of your questions? Abandon the self-blame. When does your perfectionism work, or not work? Watch out for perfectionism's brother, procrastination. Procrastination can be avoided by forgiving yourself. Give yourself permission to fall in love with failures and/or distractions, because people learn from them, especially if they are related to your goals. If they don't, please follow your confidence, principles, faith, etc. in your art of manifestation. Move away from fear, false evidence appearing real, and persuade yourself towards a belief system, aligned towards your career goals, hobbies, etc. This may especially be true for people with schizophrenia. It is important to stay consistent. Don't try to do your best, because that may be different for different days, but try to do better by thinking I am getting better, and better every day, and in every way. Try to stay positive, think of pure, happy thoughts. Act, and walk in confidence to overcome fear. False evidence appearing real. The example below mentions a person ignoring fear, false evidence appearing real, and using a metal detector to earn money. Raise the attention that serves you, and other people's interests. Example, I am poor, and I need to take care of my family members. Render the intention. Example, perhaps I can buy a metal detector so I can find precious metals, jewelry, or a meteorite. Reach the emotion. Example, perhaps watch YouTube videos of people metal detecting, and finding precious metals, jewelry, or meteorites. Regard the rationalization. Example, invest my money, and buy a metal detector, etc. Ready to action. Example, pack up, and go metal detecting to potentially earn money. Try to make the artwork, or the work you put into it, fun. This may be done by thinking positive. Also remember that absolutes, extremes, do have a tendency to create psychopathy and/or burnouts. Take breaks when necessary. Rebuttal to negativities. The single most powerful asset we all have is our mind. If it is trained well, it can create enormous wealth. Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. The primary difference between a rich person and poor person is how they manage fear. Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. I can't afford it, shuts down your brain. How can I afford it? Opens up possibilities, excitement and dreams. Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. The philosophy of the rich and the poor is this: the rich invest their money and spend what is left. The poor spend their money and invest what is left. Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. Sight is what you see with your eyes, vision is what you see with your mind. Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. The size of your success is measured by the strength of your desire, the size of your dream, and how you handle disappointment along the way. Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. It's not your fault for being born poor, but it is your fault if you die poor. Bill Gates, founder of Microsoft. You can't connect the dots looking forward, you can only connect them looking backwards. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future. You have to trust in something, your gut, destiny, life, karma, whatever. This approach has never let me down, and it has made all the difference in my life. Steve Jobs, founder of Apple Computers. Your work is going to fill a large part of your life, and the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. And the only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking. Don't settle. As with all matters of the heart, you'll know when you find it. Steve Jobs, founder of Apple Computers. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. Steve Jobs, founder of Apple Computers. Manifestation list. Write a list with sketches, drawings, a manifestation book, etc. with what you want to manifest in your life. An example of what you can write on your list is, to better my life, and prosper. Visualize your end outcome. Do what you believe in, there can be more than one, and stay consistent. Remember that choosing the right, correct mindset, good beliefs, and pure thoughts, is also important because practice makes it permanent. This means avoid getting negative karma, reflections of the universe, that can manifest as bad addictions. Believe, pray, that you have received, and expect manifestation.